everyone, this is part 2 of the binomial expansion notes. So in this part, we're going to talk about the binomial theorem, whereas in the first part, we talked about Pascal's triangle. So the binomial theorem gives us this long, scary looking formula, but what we want to focus on is this piece right here. So this piece right here actually gives us the coefficients for our terms instead of using Pascal's triangle. So what this is a combination, and this is where we start throwing punctuation into math. So this symbol right here is known as a factorial. Okay, not that it's needed to know for this, but if we were doing it by hand, just to show you, 5 factorial would be the same thing as saying 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And if we multiplied all those together, we would get 120. So 6 factorial would be 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, but I'm going to show you how you can type that piece right there into the calculator. Actually, it's going to be this piece right here that we're going to type into the calculator. And I'm going to show you how it relates to Pascal's triangle. So on our calculators, we're going to go to a new calculator screen, and you're going to do menu, and then number 5, which is probability, and then number 3, which is combinations. So once you do that, in your calculator, it's going to say NCR, and then it's going to have 2 parentheses, and we're going to type stuff in our parentheses. So let's do an example just to see. So if I wanted to do 15 choose 6, we're going to type that into our calculator to see what it equals. So in our calculator, it's going to have the NCR parentheses, then we're going to type in 15 comma 6 and press enter, and it's going to give us our answer. So again, we go to our calculator. I'm already on the calculator screen, but if you want to start with a fresh one, you can. We go menu, number 5, which is probability, then number 3, which is combinations. So it shows us the NCR, and we're going to type in 15 comma 6. So that means there's 15 items, and we want to know the different combinations of picking 6. And that would be 5,005. Okay, so that's just how we do it. Now, if we go back up to Pascal's triangle, I'm going to show you how we get these coefficients. So this last row is the row that I want us to focus on. So let me clean it up just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to focus on this row right here. So this had an exponent of 6. So this first one would be 6 choose 0. So if we go into our calculator and we type that in, menu, 5, 3, so probability, then combinations. If I do 6 comma 0, notice how I get the 1. Okay. If I do, so I get that right there. If I do 6 choose 1, let's see what we get. So menu 5, 3, 6 comma 1, I get 6, which was that number that we had right here. So I'll do one more just to show you. So we'll do the next one, which is 6 choose 2. So menu 5, 3, 6 comma 2, press enter, we get 15, and that was the number that we had right here, 6 choose 2. Okay, so if we keep continuing this pattern, we're going to get the same numbers. So rather than listing them out and actually having to expand Pascal's triangle, if I ask for something to the 15th power, it might be easiest to use the combinations. So let's look at this one right here. Example 2. It says expand 4x minus 2y. So here we go. This is going to be, because my exponent is 9, and I don't want to continue Pascal's triangle for 3 more rows because we only wrote it till the 6th row, I'm going to use the combinations. So it's going to be 9, choose 0. It always starts with 0. And go ahead and type that into your calculator as we go along. So if you need a pause at any point, pause it. But go ahead and type that into your calculator, making sure that you understand how to get these numbers. So you should get 1. Then 9, choose 1. You will get 9. 9, choose 2. You should get 36. 9, choose 3. You will get 84. 9, choose 5. You will get 126. Oh, sorry, that should be not 9, choose 5. That should be 9, choose 4. But you do get 126. Then 9, choose 5. You actually get 126 again. 9, choose 6. You get 84. 9, choose 9. Oh, I'm sorry, 9, choose 7. That will give you 36. 9, choose 8 is 9. And 9, choose 9, you should get 9. Again, you need to make sure that you're comfortable typing this into your calculator. Okay, now this next one, remember this is where we take the 4x and we're going to go big to small. So we're going to start with 4x to the 9th power. (4x to the 8th power). 4x to the 7th power. 4x to the 6th power. 4x to the 5th. 4x to the 4th. 4x to the 3rd. 4x to the 2nd. 4x to the 1st. And last but not least, 4x to the 0 power. It's important that we put those in parentheses. Now we're going to do the same thing, but with the negative 2y, and yes, you need to include the negative sign. So that would be negative 2y, and we work our way up so that it starts at 0. The negative 2 needs to be in parentheses. Okay, so we're going to keep expanding. Oops, I double wrote a number. So I'm writing all the way until we get to 9. Now, rather than trying to multiply these out, I'm going to show you what we're going to type in the calculator. So for our final term, what we're going to type in the calculator is 1 times 4 to the 9th times negative 2 to the 0 power. That's what's getting typed into the calculator, so we can just get the number. So we go to our calculator. We're going to type in 1 times 4 to the 9th power times negative 2 to the 0 power. So just like that, we press enter and we get this really, really big number. So 262,144. And that would be x to the 9th power. So now we're going to repeat that process. So I'll do one more with you. So we have this time 9 times 4 in parentheses to the 8th power times negative 2 to the first power. So we go to our calculator. We're going to type it in. 9 times 4 to the 8th power times negative 2 to the first power. Press enter, and we get this number right here. So that's the number that we're going to write. And yes, it should be negative. So because that middle sign is negative, our signs will alternate between positive and negative, positive and negative. And our exponents would be x to the 8th, y. So what I want you to do is go pause the video and go through and fill the rest of these in, and then check your answers with mine as we go through. Okay? So hopefully you pause the video. The next number you should have gotten is 2, 3, 5, 9, 2, 9, 6, x to the 7th, y to the 2nd. Then we have negative 2, 7, 5, 2, 5, 1, 2, x to the 6th, y to the 3rd. Next, we have 2, 0, 6, 4, 3, 8, 4, x to the 5th, y to the 4th. Next, we have negative 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 9, 2, x to the 4th, y to the 5th. Then we have 3, 4, 4, 0, 6, 4, x to the 3rd, y to the 6th. Then we have negative 7, 3, 7, 2, 8, x squared, y to the 7th. Then we have 9, 2, 1, 6, x, y to the 8th. And last but not least, a negative 5, 12, y to the 9th power. So make sure you have the same answers as me. Make sure you understand how to get these answers. And if you don't, and you have a question, write it down next to this. That way we have it. So the expanded form would be that. And because this middle sign right here is negative, our signs alternate between positive, and negative. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the next example, where it says just find the first 3 terms. So that's all it wants, is the first 3 terms of the sequence. So for our coefficient, we see that the exponent is a 10. So we're going to use that combination of 10, choose 0, 10, choose 1, and 10, choose 2. So it always starts with 0. So go ahead, pause the video, type those into the calculator. You should get 1, 45, 1, 10, and then 45. Okay, for our variables, we see that this is an x. So this is going to be an x to the 10th, x to the 9th, x to the 8th. Then our y term is a negative 2y, so we need to make sure that we put it in parentheses, and it's to the 0, to the 1st, and to the 2nd. Okay, so go ahead and figure out what would be in our final term box. Pause the video so you can figure it out. So let's see how you did. We should get x to the 10th, negative 20 x to the 9th, y, and 180 x to the 8th, y to the 2nd. So again, because that middle sign was negative, the sign should alternate. Looking at part B, it just wants us to find the third term and the third term only. So we look and see that it's to the 12th power. So we know that it would be 12, choose 0, 12, choose 1, and 12, choose 2, not 3. Okay, so we want the one that is associated with this piece right here. Okay, so for my variables, I take the first one. We know it's going to be 4x to the 12th, 4x to the 11th, 4x to the 10th. Then we look at the next one. It is a negative y. So it would be a negative y to the 0, negative y to the first, and a negative y to the second. So we don't have to worry about finding these because all it wants is the third term. So in your calculator, figure out what 12 choose 2 is. 12 choose 2. You should get 66. So then you're going to do 66 times 4 to the 10th times negative 1 to the second. And hopefully you get 692, 0, 6, 0, 1, 6, x to the 10th, y to the second. And that right there would be the third term of this expanded binomial. Okay, now something to notice. This exponent, or that number right there, is a 2. And that number right there is a 2. So it kind of helps. And remember, if you know that, then you know these have to add up to be 12. So you can figure out that next number. Okay. It is also, we found the third term, and notice that it is 1 off of the third term. It's a 2. So that's how it can help you. So in part C, if I want to find the fifth term, that means it's going to be an exponent of 13. Choose, I'm going to subtract 1 from 5, and it's going to be 13 choose 4. So it is 1 less than the term that you're trying to find because we start with that 0. So you type that in your calculator, pause the video if you need to, and you should get 715. Then, because this exponent, or because this number right here is a 4, that means my second variable is going to be a 4. And to get 13, this variable has to be a 9. Okay, so I want to take 2 to the 9th power and 3 to the 4th power and multiply it by 715. So again, we're taking 715 times 2 to the 9th times 3 to the 4th. So type that in your calculator. You should get a really big number. 296, 524, 80, x to the 9th, y to the 4th. So again, if you're confused, you can ask somebody in class, or you can write down a note and ask me on Tuesday. Next, we want to find the coefficient of a to the 7th, b to the 5th in the binomial expansion of a plus b to the 12th power. So it's to the 12th power. So we know we're doing 12 choose something. How we figure that out is we look at the exponent of the second variable, which is 5. So it's going to be 12 choose 5. And we want the coefficient. Okay, so what we're going to do is do 9 choose 5. Type that in our calculator. We get 792. Because A and B don't have a number in front of it, it's not 2A plus 3B, it's just A and B. That is going to be the answer right there. But if there were additional numbers, like in example C above, then we would have to also multiply it by those numbers and get a really big number. So again, what you need to do is please make sure that you take the notes, write down any questions, talk with each other in class, making sure you can help each other clarify, and try the practice and come with questions the next class meeting. Y'all have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.